Welcome to Follow Everton. I'm Ryan, the channel host. I've just watched Everton lose 2-0 at Anfield, and we're now in the relegation zone with six games still to play. Um, it, I think it wasn't that bad. I mean, I thought it was going to be a lot worse today. I'll be honest with you. I thought we were going to get a real hiding, and obviously the day didn't start very well at all, with Burnley winning, as you do, having beat Southampton, having got a don't know what's happened there. Sorry about that. I'm hoping someone can hear me. If someone in the comments can confirm that they can hear me, because I'm obviously in the car at the moment. But obviously, you can't rely on other teams to get results. It has to be on yourselves as a team. And obviously, coming to Anfield today, I think in isolation, I think it was the right thing to do to set up the way we did. Because let's be honest, Liverpool, if you give them a lot of space, they'll hurt you in the transition. And let's be honest today, that was the best ever Liverpool team, the best Liverpool team in history. And this is the worst Everton side in the Premier League era, and they only beat us 2-0. And there were scrumpy goals that Michael Keane switches off his ball watching, as he does, and Seamus Coleman gets sucked into the centre when, if he just stays with Trent with Robertson, it's an easy header away. So it's two small mistakes, but you get punished. And I just focus on that. You know, if a lot of Liverpool fans imagine me watching this, it was the best ever Liverpool team, and it was the worst ever Everton team. And you didn't have a shot on target in the first half. We had opportunities to win the game. We had opportunities to score. Decore running through, hits it wide. Anthony Gordon hits it wide. Richarlison had a shot. Damari Gray was narrowly wide. And there were opportunities on the counter where they'd taken fouls to try and stop us. We had chances. We had more opportunities than I thought we would have. I think that the problem was in that second half, we dropped too deep, unfortunately. And when you drop as deep as you do, you allow Liverpool to get closer and closer to your goal, where they're more of a threat. I think if it would have just been 5 or 10 yards further up, I think we would have seen the game out. I'll be honest with you. I really do think we would have seen the game out. But because we've dropped too deep, we've allowed them to come really close to the goal, and unfortunately we've been punished, and we have to try and get that out really quickly. We're going to have rotating guests on because a lot of people. We've got 5 minutes from Steve here. Just want to get your initial reaction, Steve. It wasn't that bad, but we're not going to come on here and sound upbeat, Stephen. We're in the relegation zone. It's probably a bit of an unlucky result at the end of the day, but are there what are your thoughts anyway? Don't want to lead you into a question,
I
but
think we can take a lot of positives from the way they played in the first half in particular. And to be honest, they played quite well in the second half. And the turning point was actually once we got more into the game and showed more attacking threat, we actually looked more vulnerable. And therefore, I think that Frank is commendable with the tactics. I think Liverpool fans will probably look at this and go, well, Everton probably played their best against Liverpool out of any team in the way that they've approached the game. We've come out really unfortunate. I'm not sure Origi comes on if they're still, if I don't know. I think there's mind games going on with that sub, and
yeah,
you know,
for
I,
sure.
I, I, I think I'm not sure he normally comes on. I think we really stifled them for a long time. We frustrated the crowd. We had chances. We might have been unlucky with a penalty. It's a bit dubious. If it was given, I felt like we could have got a point. And the longer it went on, I felt more and more disappointed by the outcome. But we said 2-0 yesterday and that we would take that. But having watched the game back, it
Yeah.
was too narrow for too long for us to accept that as a result. I think that we gave it all. We showed the spirit, and if we take that into the next games, we've got a very good chance of
Steve,
giving it a good fight. But now the way I'm looking at it is we're 2 points behind Burnley. They play on Saturday the next 2 weeks. We play on Sunday. We're up against it big time. We just have to, I can see Leeds getting sucked into this because I think what's happened with Burnley, and I'm going on a bit of a monologue, is that Burnley have had to win, and we've had to play better, and now both teams are playing better. And all right, we didn't win today, but we came against maybe the best team in Europe,
yeah,
if not in the world
and
right
and
now.
I want to bring in some comments. You make some good points, Steve. We weren't disgraced today. This is Flash the original. Thanks for coming on to the stream. Make sure you subscribe. It is unfortunate that I decided to start this YouTube channel March last year, and since then we have been absolutely shocking on the pitch. So, but we've come on, and I'm fronting up the result because a lot of people would say, "Well, you're not giving a reaction," but I'm going to give you an honest reaction with Steve, with you guys. So make sure you
It was
subscribe.
always tongue in cheek. We were always coming on, providing it
Yeah,
wasn't 5-5 or 6-0. I mean, one thing that Everton did was they kept the game close for a long period of time. Unfortunately, what that's done is it's given the supporters the hope that we would get something out of the game when it gets 60, 70 minutes. I thought Gordon was outstanding today. He really epitomised the performance that I wanted to say. He had the legs. He basically took on Trent for most of the game, and he could have got sent off the way Gordon was playing. And I think that, you know, in a way we were a bit unlucky. We've
Steve,
come out.
I mean, there's a lot of comments. Keep them coming in. I'm going to try and get through them live. A lot of people talking about the penalty shout. You touched on it there. On another day, Anthony Gordon does win a penalty. I think if it's the other way around and it's Salah running through, getting a push in the back or with that contact. I'm not talking about the first one. I don't think that was a dive, avoiding the contact. The second one, I think, could be given a penalty if it was the Liverpool player going through. And also, Mane putting his hands to Alan's face surprised me that that wasn't given as a red card. That's violent conduct. You can't touch someone in the face. But I don't want to talk about decisions too much. I think Liverpool got away with it again, as they always do. But in terms of the performance, we battled well. And I think it was a case of, on another day, we'd probably leave there with a 0-0 or nick a 1-0 playing like that. And it was very flat atmosphere. Considering 5 or 6 flights from Norway coming in yesterday, full of happy clapping tourist fans. It wasn't as it was quite flat. I mean, obviously, I'm only watching it on the iPad. I've been working, but from what I could hear, it didn't sound great. The commentators were saying we'd stifled them, and you can't ask for much more than a little bit of end product. Today, I just think that was probably the only thing lacking in the key moments. He was saying he was shocked that there was 11 players on the pitch. I mean, I agree with you there. And Eugene's asking about whether we'll get relegated. I think hand on heart, I think we will go down just because Burnley are going to take it out of our hands quite quickly. And it's a shame because I think in the last 6 weeks we've been okay. It wouldn't be near it, but ultimately we are one of the worst teams in the league. And if you are one of the worst teams in the league, certainly if you're the third worst, you deserve to go down.
That was our 19th defeat, Ryan, which is, I think, a record.
Yeah,
for
it's the worst
Everton.
Everton team in the
That's
history of
more. That's more. That's a guaranteed 1 out of every 2 games lost. I'm gonna have to sign off, but I think that there are some positives to come out of the fact that we managed to stay pace with probably the best team around right now on the best form. I think Ryan, you are right with Burnley probably being the favourites. Now, statistically, on odds wise, Everton now are the third favourites to go down, or effectively the favourites, because Norwich and Watford are probably down. But
they're down.
it is in our hands in a sense that we have a game in hand, and if we won them all, but I know that's not realistic.
Okay, thanks, Stephen. Take care.
Bye for now.
Bye. That was Stephen, my brother, giving his thoughts on the Merseyside derby. Look, at the end of the day, it's still in our hands in terms of relegation, and also it's not in Liverpool's hands with the title, so you can't get too hung up. Yes, it would have been amazing to get a point today. I thought probably 50 minutes in, this is going to be our day. We're due something here. One of the times we're going to slip Gordon through, or someone's going to get slipped in, and it's going to result in a goal. But look, it didn't work. There was a chance Dele Alli got it across the face of goal. Great defending from Liverpool. And you have to hold your hands up to them. They find a way of getting results. And the sad thing is, how have we ended up in this position, having spent 600 million on players over the course of 5 or 6 years, had several rebuilds, 3 director of football, 6, 7 managers, and still have a team that the only chance of really getting anything at Anfield is a low block on your 18-yard line. and trying to nick a goal. I mean, that's not really a bad strategy. I don't know why teams aren't actually doing that more. They'd stop Liverpool more times than not, I think. But really, it's quite a sad, sorry state of affairs. Holly's talking about Demarai Gray being asleep. He is a bit of a weakling defensively, but Michael Keane should do better. He should anticipate the ball coming back in. Wonderlust saying he saw a tweet about the performance of Strong. Yeah, I mean, I am notoriously quite negative at times, and I actually think it was a reasonable performance. Look at how Man United played. Look at how Man City played against them. I think we did better. Everton in the dock saying, how was that not a penalty? I think the first one's not a pen. Shouldn't be booked though, because he's just diving out of the way of the ball. The second one, it's no different to the Calvert-Lewin one, and it would be harsh, but it probably is a penalty. I'm come back to that one. We don't have the finishes, Jason. We just don't have the end product. There's no one there really with an end product. You think if you could combine, if you could just Anthony Gordon could finish, or if Demarai Gray could be a little less selfish and make better decisions, would be fine. We just haven't got the players there. Ollie saying, let's be honest, if you go and try and draw again, not really. I think you've got to understand the context of it. As I said before, you've got the strongest Liverpool squad, possibly in the Premier League era. You know, you can bring players. You've got 5 forwards. You've got several central midfielders and 4 good centre halves now. So you have to look at it as you've got the strongest Liverpool team and the worst Everton team. And if you put the two together and go toe for toe, we're probably going to lose. I think on another day, the tactics work. We slip someone in. We did slip players in a few times. We had opportunities. The final ball or the final shot wasn't quite there, or very good defending. So it wasn't a bad tactic. We would have taken a draw. We didn't go for a draw. We went, I think, for more of a damage limitation approach and to try and nick something, stay in the game. And we were unlucky, and there wasn't an awful lot between them at the end of the day. There really wasn't. Possession doesn't mean anything if you don't create chances. The Divock, there is mind games going on with the Origi. I don't know where Yerry Mina was. Maybe that was the time to bring him on. I didn't actually get a chance to see the team before kickoff because I've been working, but I would have matched him up, and you know, because it is a bit of piss boiling from Klopp there, and to be fair, it works. So and he's shite as well, but he's playing in a very good team. Here's a comment from Dull Inco. Go down to the Championship, you little blue nose cunts. She's just sad. Extremely sad. Go and get a life. The reason I bring comments like that, because it just makes me laugh that he's a Liverpool fan who he's just seen his team scrape past Everton and still remain in the fight for the league and feels the need to come on an Everton channel. It's a little bit sad. I wouldn't be on here necessarily if we wouldn't. No, I probably would have. But Steve saying, Big Sam, no. I think you've got to give Lampard time. I think even if we do go down, try and hold on to some of the players that are on lower wages. I imagine Demarai Gray, Anthony Gordon, Michaelenko, Ben Godfrey. I think some of these, Seamus Coleman, these players will be on lesser wages. We can keep them, keep Lampard and build. I mean, I'm resigned to us going down. I'll be honest with you, because I just see Burnley taking it out of our hands. I hope is that maybe Leeds can get dragged into it. But no one looks that bad. You know, we don't even look that bad. It's just the results aren't great. I mean, the Leicester game really annoys me, because I think if we'd have just put a little bit more effort into that, an emphasis on actually trying to win that game, and the game plan for that game, then I think we would be sitting in a decent position. Where we've really fucked up is when we played Burnley away and we were winning, and we've, you know, self-capitulated to 2 really soft goals. And Burnley are not great. They just don't make that many mistakes and defend solidly and wait for opposition teams to make mistakes. Yeah, moving on before I lose my trail of thought. Gordon once again stands out. Richarlison rolling around. He rolled his ankle, Barry. And I thought Richarlison actually was brilliant today. I can't fault him. playing in a poor side. I think if you stick him in the Liverpool team, he has a field day. Rondon moves like my tumble dryer. Joseph saying we're going down. We've spent more than Liverpool. No, Jason, I'm not asked about net spend. Liverpool had Coutinho. They sold for about 120 mil. Suarez, Sterling. They've signed players. Look at the Liverpool team. The difference is, yeah, they've spent a lot of money. They've signed Van Dijk, 75 million. Alisson, 65 million. Every single player costing a fortune. They've got Naby Keita, who's a squad player at 50 mil. The difference is the recruitment level is miles better than us. And now, because we've made too many mistakes, we've got no money. We haven't been in the relegation zone for 23. Yeah. Can you do about it, Matty? Neither of us can do anything. We supported the team. We've gone the games, home and some away games for myself, but there's nothing we can do to affect this now, really. It's on them. The plan was always to finish you in the second half, open your eyes. No, I don't agree with you there at all. I think the problem was Everton dropped 5-10 yards too deep, and we switched off in a couple of moments, and we were poor on the break in terms of the finishing. Tommy Davis says Manny should have had a red card for 2 blatant pushes. Yeah, I agree. You can't raise your hands. Blue Nose WKD, friend of the show. Godfrey injured in the warm up. Yeah. What is wrong with players getting injured in the warm up? Michael Keane didn't have anything to do today, defensively, because the players in front of him were doing all the work. And the one time he's needed to call, he's not there. I don't know whether the Godfrey thing changes the whole way we play, whether we're deeper because of Godfrey getting injured. I still think we probably would have ended up in the low block, but you make a good point. It was Van der Beek last week. This time it's Godfrey, or was it Van der Beek? I can't remember, but it's always someone. I don't think our players prepare that well. Brian saying Fat Rafa kicked it off, but you can't blame Rafa. The damage was already done. I think Ancelotti knew what we didn't have a great bunch of players, and quickly reverted into just playing for set pieces and counter attacks. But this season, obviously, we've lost Luka Dean, we've lost James Sigurdsson. I think people are scared to talk about him. Whatever the circumstances are around that, we've lost our record signing and a player who was quite effective last season. And, we've not replaced these players. Just looking through a lot of repetitive stuff, people saying similar things. So stuff I've already covered. I think, the thing with Everton that really winds me up, look at Newcastle, the way they've bought players on paper that didn't really inspire a lot of us, but apart from the Brazilian central midfielder, but they just found a way to drag themselves out of it. We never replace these good players. Based on Rafa points per game, we would have finished on 38. I'm not sure, Joseph. I think we were on a downward spiral of, situation. Keep the comments coming in. I'm not going to be on for too much longer. It doesn't look like any of the other channel members want to come on. Let me just see whether I can get Dan on. Bear with me 1 second. Can anyone hear me? Can someone confirm? Can you hear me? I've just sent the link to Dan, hoping to get him on for a few minutes before I wrap things up. What is everyone's thoughts now? Are we dead and buried? What are the positives to take from the game? I think the game plan from Lampard was the right one. I think we did the little things like with Jordan Pickford. His distribution was outstanding, by the way, today. But I think we did some of the right things. I think the only thing that just let us down today was probably when we did counter, we didn't have the extra man breaking from midfield just to make it so we could outnumber them. Because the thing with Liverpool is they do overload you, they do commit a lot of men forward, and they leave space. And on another day, we 100% we get an opportunity and we score because um, we created chances on the break. We did. We caught them out a couple of times. We just did lack that end product, and that's the story of the season. And I think if you've got your main striker Calvert-Lewin out for an entirety of a season, then you struggle. Um, well, I also think about the standard of the centre forwards in the league this season is horrendous. There are very few decent out and out strikers anywhere. Lukaku's shocking this season. And I look back at recent seasons and I think this is an easy Premier League for the likes of Liverpool and City because there's not Drogba's and Henry's and Van Persie's, Rooney, Aguero. There's none of these top players, centre forwards, spread around the league. Even your likes of Jermaine Defoe, who was an out and out goal scorer. It's it. I was watching the Wolves Burnley game today, and I thought, I'm looking at Wolves and thinking, you've got nothing about you. You've got no end product. You just pass and pass. And even with Burnley, the standard of football is shocking, and it's just one of those days, isn't it? Faz said from the minute we lost to Burnley, it was going to be a hard watch. We need 10 points from 18. Faz, I think we need more than 10 points because I think Burnley are going to just go on a run now. And I think it's just going to be about Leeds getting sucked in. I genuinely just see that. I think we'll probably get the 10 points. I think we will get the 10 points from 18, but I don't think that will be enough to keep us up. I'm honest with you there. Of course, yeah. And Robbie's spot on here. Why is it we've spent all this money and we're in a situation where we're relying on Burnley, who, with the greatest of respect, are a small club with a small fan base and limited ambition. We're competing with them for relegation. It's embarrassing. I can't believe Origi sent us down. No, John. John, head up, mate. Origi didn't send us down. It's 38 games in the season and we've lost 19 matches. It's not on today's game. Today was a free hit. We had a go. We were unlucky. I can't blame it on today, but I agree, John. We have become a banter club. You couldn't make it up. Who thinks Burnley's run's about to end? On what basis, Hugh? Let me know. Give me something to get slightly enthusiastic about. I just need the season over. I need Man City to win all the remaining games, Chelsea to win in the FA Cup, and Everton to just try and scape up, and then we can all go on a holiday and forget about this because I'm just sick of watching them. And I'll be honest, if I didn't have this channel with, which I'm grateful for, and if you're new to the channel, you haven't already subscribed, please subscribe. But I just can't wait to just not watch them. I mean that as a massive blue. I just can't wait to switch off, and I'm desperate to not watch Everton. An excuse to not watch them, and it's a pity that the World Cup isn't in the summer, so we could have had a longer break. Ryan saying hi Ryan. Mark saying shame we didn't put the fight in against Wolves, Burnley, Leicester. I don't know what to say, Mark. You're right. The Wolves game away from home, we set up with a weird two-man midfield with Gbamin, who hadn't played for years, and played into their hand. And Wolves, I've watched them since, and I just think they're steady, not without being spectacular. Played into their hands. They had Jimenez dropping into midfield and outnumbering us. Schoolboy tactics from Benitez. In the home game, it was just, I think, Connor Cody, of all people, scoring from a corner and just nicking it, and us just not having enough quality. But a lot of it is about desire and fight. You're right, Mark. We showed that today. We haven't shown it against Burnley away. We didn't show that against Leicester. We didn't show that against Wolves. And we didn't show it on 20, 25 other occasions this season. $2 million spent in the summer plus having to sell before you buy, and Jan has wrecked us. Relying on Calvert-Lewin moving forward. Calvert-Lewin, there's something wrong with his body. You can't be getting that many injuries. He plays a game, he plays another, and then he's injured for 3 weeks. He comes back, plays another. And who's going to buy him now? And this is the thing about relegation for us now. If we do go down, how are we getting it back up? How are we going to drag ourselves back up? Because we've got players generally on extortionate contracts. Yes, Cenk Tosun's leaving. That's 100 grand off the wage bill. Fabian Delph leaving, 90 off the wage bill. There will be a few. Sigurdsson, I don't know what the situation is. I think he had his contract ripped up, but that's 120,000 off the wage bill. Excuse me. But still, we have to get rid of players on huge salaries. And when that's dictated to you, you can't get a lot of money for them. Richarlison obviously wears his heart on his sleeve. He's a talisman. He's probably on 100,000 a week. He'll probably have to be sold. We're not going to get 45 million back for him because of the nature of where we are. And I don't know how we could prop ourselves up, even if he wanted to stay, until we got the right, deal. How can we prop ourselves up financially when we've lost the USM sponsorship? No one's coming forward for the front of the shirt sponsorship because we don't know what league we're going to be in. We couldn't even get a shirt sponsor this season. We're the only fucking team in the league that doesn't have a sleeve sponsor. And yet the fans, including myself, have been asked to pay more for our season tickets next season, 700 odd quid, to watch us potentially in the Championship against teams coming to Goodison who are going to have the games of their life week in, week out. But also for players, watching a load of players who've let us down. The ones that do stay have let us down. There's no two ways about it. They've not been good enough. They've promised so much, delivered so little. I'm not even including players like Andre Gomez, who have played 5 games all season, but he's a prime example, really, of players that have just not lived up to expectation. We're going to have to sell players. We're going to have to sell. We're going to have to sell players, and it's going to be on unfavourable deals because the TV deal, the Premier League TV deal, we won't have that, so there'll be less income coming in. We've got a massive wage to income turnover. Sorry, I'm getting my words wrong, but our wages are massive. Our turnover is small. There's a very little difference between the two. I think it's 90% of our income goes on wages. So imagine what it's going to be like when we're minus 120 million or something next season because we're in the Championship. I don't know how we cope. I don't know what the rules are. Does financial fair play still affect us? Can we invest down there? Can we throw more money at this mess? But even if we do you trust the people who run this club, who I am convinced have the best of intentions in Ken Wright and Mashiri? I don't think you can ever have the wrong intentions. What would be the point? But just the application, whether that's people that you employ or the decisions that you make, haven't been good enough. Do you trust them to make the right decisions? Frustrating, and it's sad and it's depressing, and we're all in the same boat and we're all suffering together right now. And I know we all just want to switch off from it, but weirdly it is comforting that we can still talk about this. And I think Liverpool will know they had a game today. It wasn't Everton turning up, being walked over. It was Everton having a go, showing some heart, showing a bit of fight, defending well, switched off in a couple of moments, but on the counter attack had opportunities. And I think we'd have just played 10 yards deep, higher up in the second half. It would have been a repeat of the first. We would have got a chance. The more desperate they got, and it's just unfortunate. Parker saying today's performance is a step forward into the Championship. Unfortunately, Parker, I think you could be right. It was Joe saying it was a very awkward game for Liverpool. The sad thing is Everton have to play hard and scruffy now to scrape points. I think we've got to go for games because Burnley are dictating that we have to do that. But sooner or later, Burnley's little run has got to end. They've not suddenly become Man City. They are a team with 11 players who aren't great. And they just find a way to wait for teams to make mistakes and to come in. I've got Rory coming in, a friend of mine, I think, because I just saw the comment. He's saying we should go for Robbie Scrigglebutts. Um, can he play? Is he going to score 20 goals for us next season in the Championship? That's what I want to know. If he can score 20 to 30 goals, I'd be all over him, but only if he's for less than £3.50. Benny saying, what does the season hold if relegation is avoided? I don't know. This is a problem because these are the same players we've been trying to shift in the Premier League. We've been trying to get rid of these players for years. And no one's buying them. We said, Rafa Benitez said himself, I've tried to sell them. We had to. I was promised a big project, and was given 2 million to spend. Whether you believe that or not is a saving face there. So whether you believe that or not remains to be seen. But we've tried to get rid of the players. So even if we stay up, how are we going to get rid of the likes of Andre Gomez? How are we going to get rid of Michael Keane? The two of them have been a stain on the club, and so many others there. And get rid of the old guard and try and rebuild. How do we get rid of them to have money to invest? I don't know what the situation is with profit and sustainability, because we made a lot of the investments in 2017, and we're now coming up to 5 or 6 years from that. So surely we have some wiggle room to invest money. I don't know how it works. I'm not an accountant, but it doesn't look like we had. And we've signed Michaelenko and Patterson and Dele Alli. I hope they come good. I think Michaelenko's pretty steady defensively, but there's not really anything going forward from him. And obviously we've seen nothing from Patterson and Dele Alli. I think some little bits, but I don't think he's playing in his best position. And a struggling player coming into a struggling team is always going to be difficult. I don't know. We need a rebuild again. And I don't know how we go about it. I'm being asked where Dan is. Let me just try and check on him again. My camera's going to disappear for a few seconds, but stay with me. Don't know what you caught there. Dan, I think he can't stomach it. I don't think he can avoid being positive as well. So I think he's going to leave it. Whereas I don't think now is a time for us to really be super positive on the channel, I think. By the way, if you're new to follow Everton, please hit the subscribe button. Takes 2 seconds, and it's free. Everton in the mud. I agree. Everton being the first team to have a sleeve sponsor. Don't know what you mean, Jack. We don't have a sleeve sponsor. We're the only team to not have one. Gomez a gobshite, yeah. I think he's probably a nice guy. The same with Michael Keane. They've always come across really lovely, but not good enough for Everton. I mean, they didn't choose to be signed. We chose to buy them. I don't. The Gomez one, I think you've taken him on loan, low risk. He's been good. Then he's got injured on a permanent deal. He's not come back and done anything since. Doesn't create goals. Doesn't assist. Too slow. Poor defensively. But should have been brilliant because at Valencia he was one of the best teams, one of the best players in Spain. Michael Keane one was a really strange signing because I remember Lukaku turning him turning him so easily at Goodison, and then we signed him, and I just think he's never really. He's had a few decent runs, but over the 5-6 years that he's been an Everton player, which I don't know how he's survived for 5 years, he's not been a £30 million centre half. Jay Dav says, with the worst run club in English football. Possibly. I mean, I don't think really well-run clubs find themselves in relegation battles. The only positive thing is we've got a new stadium, but are we going to have any fans to fill it? I mean, I haven't renewed my season ticket yet. I inevitably will do it this week, but it's like I've waited as long as I could to see what was going on. Ultimately, if you don't renew, you're not getting back in because there will be someone to take your ticket, whether within the championship or not. So you've got to renew. But it is sickening that we're being held to ransom with the price increase for this football. The fans are being punished really because the commercial deals are crap. £1 million for the sleeve sponsor would have offset the increase in season ticket prices in a year when we might not even be in the league. Sixth highest wage bill in the league. I think, Matty, actually it's the ninth. The ninth highest. I can't confirm if anyone could confirm that. All these years of mismanagement, that's Margaret saying, yeah, years and years and years. But for me, it is just the recruitment. It really is just not having a plan, not having a philosophy. Because at the end of the day, it shouldn't matter what manager comes in. You've got an Everton philosophy, a style of play, which is aggressive, high press, counter-attacking, just a dynamic style of play, very aggressive football. And we haven't built a team with the continuity of that style. We've always just tried to change it. We've really just gone for whoever wants to come and play for us at the end of the day. Eugene saying we need a clear out. We need a clear out, but we needed a clear out for years. I said after the 5-0 defeat away at Man City at the end of last season that if we didn't rebuild then, it was going to be a repeat of it, and that Ancelotti deserved to have better players than the ones that he had, and you can actually see how well he did. With the top 20 team for wages in Europe, yeah. We should expect European football for that. Money laundering operation, no comment. Bernie's saying we have to stay up, avoid a fire sale of players, or risk becoming Derby County. This is the thing: we could end up in administration if we can't get rid of the players and we've got the salaries still here. If we don't go up, maybe at the first time of asking, then we could sink into the abyss. We could have a 12 points deduction. We could end up going down to league. It's catastrophic. 17 possessions, shameful. Yeah, but they're going to have the ball anyway, and I think in a way it allowed them to invite them on and overcommit, and then when we did get it, we could try and nick something on the counter, and we did have opportunities. It's not we're sat here, we didn't have a sniff. We did have a sniff. We had more than a sniff. We stopped them having a shot on target in the first half. I don't care about the possession stats. If we go away with our 0-0, everyone's bouncing. Because we've lost so many away games. We lost 7 on the bounce. A 0-0 would have been an amazing result, and it would have been catastrophic for them. Parker saying no relegation clause. Going down will be crippling. Yeah, absolutely. But whose fault is that? Who hasn't put relegation clause? I've got this idiot here. Happy slap a kid. Enjoy the championship. It's going to be cheats. I'd say Liverpool today were far worse than us, with the elbows in the face and the tactical fouls and the punch in the face from Mane. So the only team that was scummy and cheating was Liverpool, and I think you got away with it as well on the pen. So enjoy that. Stop calling Rafa. Okay. Richie not effective up front. Blue, I think this is so harsh. I thought he battled well. He held the ball up. He made intelligent runs. I don't agree with you. I think Richarlison played well. I don't know what more you can do. I don't know what more you can do, to be honest, than what he did today. 17%. Stop going on about possession. It means absolutely nothing. We won there last season with 28% possession. It means zilch. Daniel's saying, as a Liverpool fan, it does pain me to see Everton in their current situation. I don't think you'll win. Thanks for your comment, Daniel. I think a lot of Liverpool fans don't want Everton to go down. Certainly a lot of them in the city who've got split families. I don't want that. I'd be boring. There is obviously a lot that do. Good for you. It probably will happen. Enjoy your saddos. But Daniel, obviously, bit of common sense with his thought here. Sorry, a bit of respect with his comment, which I appreciate. I don't think you'll win again this season. I don't know. I don't think this is going to shock them that we lost today into capitulation. But I think it is going to be very difficult to get results. I think we can win the home games. And if we play like that away from home, we'll win. We'll low block and stop teams getting far worse teams than Liverpool getting an opportunity and then going and counter attacking. But if we go and do this half-assed thing away from home that we do, where we we don't defend well or we don't create, then pointless. Jack saying about the Michael Keane contract. Yeah, I don't know why this comment's not coming up. It's being a bit sluggish. Sorry. I don't know why we gave him a new contract. He had a run of about 10 games under Carlo where he looks solid, but we played 4 centre backs across the back 4. And in that, he's always got someone holding his hand on both sides. So he didn't do anything to deserve the contract. And then since he's been dropped by England, he's fallen off a cliff. David Moyes, would he have had us in the state? I don't know. Every manager's tried and failed with this group. With not even this group, it's different players. It really is different players. But it's the culture of Everton. It's the mentality. I think that comes from higher up. Michael Keane was made to look better by Ben Mee at Burnley, possibly. But look at the way Tarkowski at Burnley defends for his life, and then look at how Michael Keane stands ball watching. Richarlison's going to get violated in the Championship. If we stayed in the Championship, it'd probably be top scorer. Stupid comment. Jack saying about Liverpool fans being a bit inbred. Some of them are really nice and respectful people. Can we just keep it normal, please, on here? I don't know, Benny, about Lampard being the right man, but I think we have to stick with him. I think chopping and changing managers all the time is stupid. I think his attitude is good, Frank Lampard. So I would be inclined to give him a chance to rebuild at Everton. I don't see any other coaches. We've tried super coaches. We've tried steady coaches in Benitez and Allardyce, super coaches and Ancelotti, promising up and coaches in Silva, who is ironically in the Premier League. We've tried everything, and nothing's worked. Back in a second, by the way. Lampard doesn't know what he wants for dinner. He is chopping and changing a lot in the style, but I think he's had to treat every game in a pragmatic way. 27 years since the last major trophy. Yeah, I think it's all gone out the window, that, Frank. I think our best chance of winning a trophy is going down and playing in Championship football next season. Deadline for Everton season ticket renewal is Friday, but I know that, yeah, it's 29th, I think. But it's I think it's 700 quid in the Park End. I mean, it doesn't even come down to the money. It's the fact that Everton literally are sucking the life out of me and making me ill. And I imagine most of you feel the same way. Give me a comment. Give me a just a tick or something in the comment if you agree with me. They're making us ill. And it's like a sickening punishment for supporting the club so passionately that we've been put in this position. And then I don't know how many fans, if you are a season ticket holder, let me know. Have you renewed your season ticket? What are you doing about your season ticket? We are walking alone, Jack, unfortunately, and the streets ahead, and they find a way. They found a way. I think part of the plan was actively relying on off the ball play with an expectation to have most of the ball by far. I don't have a problem with the way we set up and the possession. It invited Liverpool on. The problem was when we got too deep, the possession was too close to goal. When we were fairly deep, but we had a good line and a good shape, and we sucked them in, it allowed us to then just win the ball back. And we broke up play so well in that first half. But something changed in that second half. If we'd have persisted with that, we would have kept them out and we would have had a chance on the counter still to get something. West Ham fan. He knows exactly what we need. Bowen and attack Zuma at the back. As a Liverpool fan, I enjoy you all getting relegated. Good for you. Bore off. Actually, I find it embarrassing. I find comments like this embarrassing. You should be ashamed. Rob is saying, Red Strike fan for Liverpool on the radio said 75% of fans want us relegated. Probably do. Sorry about that. Got disconnected. Lost a load of comments. If anyone actually wants to come on and have a chat with me, Everton fans only. All you need is a camera. Happy to bring you onto the stream. Just leave a comment now, and I will send you the link. I don't know how actually you can do that. You have to message me on Twitter, I think, at follow Everton. If you want to come on while I'm here, at follow Everton, send me a direct message and I'll send you the link for StreamYard. You can come and join me and have a chat about Everton. Leeds are safe. Hall saying I can see City and Tottenham going for Gordon. He was playing like a man possessed today. I just think not enough end product. He's playing in a poor team. In a good team, he'll be flying. He looks. It's so sad because he was so good today. He really was good. What about Rooney? It's Benny, mate. It's not going to make a difference, and I think he's going to stay at Derby. If anyone does actually want to come on and is going to message me on Twitter, please leave a comment on here so I know to go over because I can't just assume. I'm not going to check it every 2 minutes. Lamps can get Derby up with money and Chelsea favours. Yeah, it's a good point, Jack. It is a good point, Jack. We have to hope Leeds panic and we pick up 7 points before the end of the season. What makes you think we're not going to pick up 7 points? I think we'll be okay in terms of our own points. I think it's other teams are going to go on mad runs. You've looked at Newcastle. Look at Brentford and Newcastle, the way they've pulled away. It's only Leeds, Burnley and us. And even Leeds are 4 points ahead. And they've been on a really good run. So what makes you think Leeds are going to get sucked into it, anyone? Kev's agreeing with me. Yeah. A few likes for the boy. Get it to our points total at least. Oh, do you mean on this? Jeff saying, friend of mine, they are bad for our mental health. Yeah. It is unbearable, Jeff. And the problem is, I saw a lot of fans on Twitter saying they're going to switch off from it and they're going to not watch the derby. Some quite big accounts, and I'm the complete opposite. You know, I'm a professional musician. I was working and I did everything to make sure that my set was around the times so I could watch the match. But the reason is because even if I said I don't want to watch it, you can't physically switch off mentally from it. You can't. And even if you said, right, I'm not going to watch them between now and the end of the season, you're not going to switch off from it. You're not. It's impossible. So it's an avoidable sufferance. Thank you, Jack, for your support. Much appreciated. He's saying hit the like button. This is a public service. Yeah. I mean, a lot of people would say, why are you not coming? Why are you, if I'd not done a stream, you're refusing to come on. You're in the relegation zone. You've just lost to Liverpool. It couldn't get much worse. But I'm coming on here and I'm happy to talk about this. Matty saying you went through the 94 and 98 relegation scare, but this is worse because of the money we've sent. Well, Matty, I was born in 93, so unfortunately I can't remember them, obviously. But I've heard that it was very, very insufferable, but there was no expectation on us. Whereas now we've been promised, not promised, but the aspiration was Champions League, European football, or even just be semi-decent to get to that stadium and start afresh. Get rid of the negative culture that we have at Everton. That's ingrained in the club because of where we are. Get to the docks, start again. Forget about this stupid rivalry with Liverpool and Stanley Park and Goodison Park. No one gives a shit. We've got to get out We've got to get in the new stadium, and we just had to be steady to get there. And it just looks like we couldn't even be boring and shit. Do you know what I mean? We can't even be average to get there. Hall, I'm assuming you're a Liverpool fan, Hall. He's saying Pickford, Gordon, Richarlison. Most of the players on paper are too good for the Championship, but collectively they have been shit, and that's why they are going to the Championship. The game you have against Watford will be the biggest game in years for Everton. Every game is massive. Every game is massive, Hall. Cliff saying very sad about Everton. Their proper football club must stay up. Thanks, Cliff. It's that bad that we're getting sympathy off other fans, but Benny's saying Leeds have some hard fixtures. They're not safe, but they've got Bamford, they've got Phillips back, they've got the momentum. Whereas I don't think we have. I think this is a shit fixture that we really could have done without. I think Preston. No, we're not asked about Preston. Not asked about anything. If we go down to the Championship, there's going to be a lot of fans who are just completely apathetic, who will disconnect from it. I will not, people who will just not give a shit, because that's what happens. Genuinely, that's what happens. If Everton go down, a lot of fans will switch off from it. Even though I'm completely contradicting it, what I said before about being unable to switch off. But what I mean is, I just think a lot of people will become, there's a lot of fans who are extremely, extremely invested in it. I think people will just become even more disconnected from the situation. And Brian's right. It's in our blood. Everton have real fans. Thank you, Market. I don't know much about the Burnley fans, but it's very happy clapping, isn't it? This feels like the after drinks after a funeral. It is a bit like that. I'm in my shirt. I was wearing the blue velvet blazer today at my event in support of Everton secretly, but it didn't work. And I have some superstitions about watching it on my phone and my iPad, and I switched over from my phone to the iPad, and we conceded once I did that. It's just stupid. It sounds ridiculous, but Robbie saying in years gone by we had a fighters. If the chips are down, we've got no fighters. We battled today, Robbie, but it's too little, too late. Will saying, where do you think we'll pick up points from? I'm just trying to be positive. I could sit here and be really negative and say I don't think we're going to get any points. I think we'll get a point against Chelsea and a point away at Leicester. I think we'll beat Palace at home and Brentford at home, and I think we'll draw with Watford or beat Watford. So that is, it's optimistic. How many games have we got left? 6 or 7? We've got 7 or 6 games. So Chelsea, Leicester, Watford. We've got 3 from them. Even if we won 1 and lost the 2, 3 points. 3 from Brentford and 3 from Palace. That'd be 9 points. I don't know whether that'll be enough. We're fucked. Honestly, we're fucked. The reaction for Chelsea. Yeah, we need a big reaction for Chelsea. Oh shit, we play Arsenal away as well. But I'd just do the same as we did today against Arsenal, and possibly even against Chelsea. Just a low block, go and try and counter attack. We've got pace with Gordon, Gray, Richarlison. Going. We could do it. Just reading through all the comments. Thank you very much for everyone's support today. Much appreciated. Palace are a much better team. Yeah, but they lost to Newcastle, didn't they? They're beatable. They're beatable, and they'll come expecting to win, and they'll come and play, and hopefully we can try and exploit some of that space and get Yerry Mina back in the team, and Calvert-Lewin back. And Liverpool fans, if you're watching, we didn't have Yerry Mina, we didn't have Calvert-Lewin. You had everyone available today. You had absolutely everyone available. We had Iwobi playing central midfield because of an injury crisis in that area. So we haven't had a single player injured all season. Palace are on the beach. That's from Benny. That's not good, is it? Really, with the Leeds game tomorrow, and you're talking about us going for Leeds. So, guys, we're coming up to an hour. Thank you very much for watching. Is there anything else anyone wants to touch on? Get your comment in right now. If there's absolutely anything else anyone wants me to talk about, wants to discuss, wants to make a point, now's the time to do it. I'm wrapping things up on 60 minutes. Thank you, everyone, for subscribing to the channel. I know it's been completely shambolic how I started this channel in March last year, and after that, Decore and James got injured. We lost most of the games, and we tailed off from the top four, and we haven't really done anything since, and it is quite sad. Jack's saying time to go, mate. Take care. Thanks, Jack. He's saying to drink. I don't try not to drink too much, Jack. But the thing is, I can't find anything really that takes my mind off this at the moment. It's very, very, very painful. Okay, guys, doesn't look like there's anything coming in worth bringing up. We will be back for the preview for the next game. I don't even know who we play next. What annoys me is the fact we've got 4 or 5 fixtures all in the space of like 10 days for some reason. I don't know how that can happen. Thanks, guys, for your comments. Good and balanced as always. Means a lot. Thanks, Benny. Take care. Thanks, Brian. You take care. Enjoy the rest of your weekend if you can. Try and do something. Distract yourself. Have a game of snooker or something. Thank you for your kind words, everyone. Thank you, Prince Rupert. Much appreciated. So I'll see you for the Chelsea game. I'll do a preview for that for you guys. Make sure you're subscribed. Make sure you turn notifications on as well. They are on the fly. Does anyone know the date for the game? Is it next Sunday? Is the game next Sunday? If it's next Sunday, then the preview will be on Friday. Because I'm working on Saturday, so it'll be on Friday afternoon, evening, maybe 6, 7 o'clock. So turn notifications on if you want to join me for the Chelsea preview. It'd be great to have you. Sunday 2 p.m. Okay, of course, and I'll be at that game. And I hate the stupid Sunday games because they kill the atmosphere on a Sunday. And if Burnley have won, then it's going to be very, very difficult at Goodison Park in terms of the atmosphere to get motivated for it. So. Thank you, guys. All the best. Chin up, head up. Can only get better, I hope.